Is this going to be good enough though? So he's a 10th up on Nicholas Latifi through that middle sector. Latifi, one of his rivals. He's 4/10ths up on his teammate Lance Stroll. Lando Norris has just gone quickest overall through the first part of the lap. Sebastian Vettel crosses the line and goes into the top 10. So he's pulled out some pace and he's keeping his fingers crossed that those below him can't do something similar. Lance Stroll, only 14th fastest. Checkered flag is now out. Zhou Guanyu is into the top 8. Very good lap on his first appearance here, of course, at Suzuka. Lance Stroll goes into the bottom 5 as Mick Schumacher goes 11th fastest, gets his Haas out of the bottom 5. Lando Norris, as I said, did brilliantly in the first sector, 8th fastest for him. Pierre Gasly pushed down into the bottom 5 as his teammate Yuki Tsunoda goes 12th fastest. So Vettel now at risk, having completed his final flying lap. Esteban Ocon goes into the top 6 in his Alpine. Sebastian Vettel might just survive and get himself through into Q2. Alex Albon, who had a lap time deleted, which was a 1:31.5, that wouldn't have been good enough, but neither was that lap either.
I've asked to wait. Why to wait? Why? Why they do it? Why you do it with the other car, not with me? We had time.
So there, first part of qualifying is over. Latifi gets a 5-place grid penalty and he's the slowest driver, starts last. Lance Stroll is on that back row with him. Kevin Magnussen out qualified for the 5th time this season by Mick Schumacher. Gasly and Albon also out. Through the chicane we go with Sebastian Vettel, currently 12th fastest, wanting to preserve his 100% record of coming to Suzuka and being in Q3 and in the top 10. He's done just that. 5th fastest so far for Sebastian Vettel. Ocon goes 2nd fastest. Decent lap from Esteban Ocon. Sergio Perez, quickest overall and into the 129s. First man into the 129s this weekend. Next across the line will be Valtteri Bottas. He is out of qualifying by the merest of margins. His teammate Zhou Guanyu is also out of qualifying, and that's Bottas sealing the Alfa Romeo head-to-head in qualifying this season. Next across the line, Mick Schumacher will stay in that bottom 5. What though of Yuki Tsunoda? He moves up, but only 12th fastest. George Russell is a driver on the cusp here as Lando Norris goes 5th fastest. That pushes Russell into the bottom 5. Lewis Hamilton goes 4th fastest overall. And we now look to see Fernando Alonso, who'll be next across the line, go 2nd fastest where his teammate was a few moments ago. So it's all eyes now on George Russell to see if he can get out of Q2 and not have 2 Q2 exits in successive weeks. It hasn't happened for him. He goes 7th fastest.
Oh, did it my best.
Yeah, it was a pretty good lap.
Mick Schumacher, Zhou Guanyu, Yuki Tsunoda, Valtteri Bottas and Daniel Ricciardo, the 5 that we've lost. Perez ended up with the fastest time in Q2.
Flat through 130, easy, and then braking for the last chicane. How's he done? Oh, you could see the under rotation on the front right. Perfect positioning of the car. Straight exit, good traction. I think this is a good one.
So Leclerc to the line then, 1:29.5, and he's gone significantly quicker than he did in Q2, nearly a second faster. Next across the line, Sergio Perez behind him by about 4/10. Carlos Sainz makes it the Ferrari 1 and 2, 2/10 between them. Norris on his outlap had a few adventures behind Max Verstappen, had to go onto the grass. That didn't help him. Verstappen goes on to provisional pole by nearly over 2/10 of a second. Hamilton goes 5th fastest. His teammate George Russell, who trails 10.7 in the qualifying head-to-head, just goes ahead then of Lewis. It's Hamilton 10, Russell 7 in terms of the quali head-to-head at Mercedes this year. Alonso goes 5th fastest, going through 130R, and then suddenly Verstappen, whoa! The FIA stewards will investigate the 130R incident between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen after the qualifying session.
Mate, unbelievable.
40.1, purple, fastest of anyone. Max slower in the first sector than he was earlier on. So great lap by Charles. He's pulling it out, as we know Charles can in qualifying.
He needs to improve by 2.5 tenths at least, and he hasn't done it. By 1/100th of a second, Charles Leclerc is denied a pole position. He's on the front row currently. Esteban Ocon goes 5th fastest in his Alpine. Can Sergio Perez get onto the front row? No, 4 tenths down. He stays on row 2 alongside Carlos Sainz, who's trying to improve but hasn't managed it. Only 5/100ths of a second between 1st and 3rd, and Verstappen has picked up time during that middle sector. Fernando Alonso, 6th fastest currently, ahead of Sebastian Vettel. His qualifying has finished. Russell and Hamilton both improving on the new soft tyres that they're using on their final runs, as Verstappen crosses the line. Doesn't improve his time, but it's good enough anyway for pole position. Hamilton, 6th fastest, as he makes his way to the line. His teammate George Russell, only 8th fastest in the Mercedes, but it is applause in the Red Bull garage for Max Verstappen. He's done his business on the track. He's going to have to go and do some business now in the steward's room. That incident involving himself and Lando Norris will be investigated shortly. It's the first time he's been on the front row. It's the first time he's been on pole here at Suzuka on this championship deciding, potentially championship deciding weekend.